hate cold starts because it's kind of weird, but we're gonna jump right into it. Okay, welcome back to the old Let's Talk About It podcast. Today we're back for the second week in a row. We're doing Real-ationship Conversations, where we want to get together with men and women and have these conversations that we often have. We have them in different settings. We have them on social media, different places, but oftentimes it's like we're talking at each other and not to each other. So I want to get a few people together and shout out to one of the guests, Chris, for connecting the dots on this one. Got some beautiful women in here and a good brother that we're going to answer some questions. We're going to have some discussions. We may agree, we may disagree, but hopefully we'll come out with some understanding on either end. So we're going to jump right into it and get you doing some introductions. I'll start here at the bottom you're in my bottom, with Miss Stephanie. Go ahead and introduce yourself, tell where you're from, however much you want to share with the people.
Okay. My name is Stephanie Waller. I'm from Durham, North Carolina originally. And I've been married before, and I'm single now. And I'm just enjoying life right now. I'm helping with my parents as a 47-year-old. I'm actually a partial caretaker for them. So I'm enjoying giving back to my parents who actually helped a lot. You know, they're responsible for who I am today. I have one dog, so who's currently eating. So I love loving on him, and I'm just enjoying life right now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. We're gonna go next to Miss Marcia.
Hi, everyone. I am a 56-year-old mother of 3 sons. I've been married twice.
Time out. How did you say you were?
56.
Go ahead, continue.
I have a 33-year-old son, a 29-year-old son, and a start-over baby, and he's 7. Been married twice, recently divorced a couple of years ago. And so, you know, been through a couple things, know a couple things about relationships. I own my part, you know, in both of my breakups. And I totally believe in therapy. So I believe in all the healing that can go on in therapy, so that you know your contribution to that. So I don't believe in the whole blame game. I believe in learning about your own wounds that contribute to, you know, who you are as a person. Okay. So I am a caregiver. I love hard. I love fully. I have 3 grandkids, and they call me grandma. They don't call me Nana or Mimi or any of that. When you see them, they call me full-on grandma. And so that's who I am. I have a puppy, and I'm former military. I did 21 years in the military. I am a completely different person because I don't know if you can curse, but I was a hard ass when I was in the military. But I was hard, you know, and I'm a different person now. I'm a Christian. I love God, head of my life. He comes first in every conversation. You're going to find me talking about my spirituality and how that leads everything that I do, and how God is responsible for where I am. And so, you know, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I volunteer, and I just love people. And I'm happy to be here. I can't wait for this discussion.
That's beautiful. And you don't look 56. Sure, say 50. Okay. Beautiful. That's beautiful. And we actually read on a couple of things. I'm gonna give my little intro in a second. Chris, go ahead.
Okay, this is I'm Chris. This is my second time on the Let's Talk with King Crawley. I'm glad to be back. And of course there are things to do come up, but I had a few phone calls I needed to make, and they were able to pull through. come through in the clutch and make this actually a success. I for this episode, I'll say again, I'm a country boy. I was born in Alaska. My dad was in the military. I'm ex-military. I work for myself. Live in North Carolina currently, in Rocky Mount to be exact. But I'm just simple. Pretty much, I'm not gonna be funny, but like if whoever's watching this, just go back and to the other episodes so you can catch up on that. Then you'll get the other intro of myself. This intro is different. This whole situation is different. I'm just ready to get started because it's gonna be very, very interesting.
Okay. Well, thank you, man. Look, I'm not going to take long with my intro because I want to get right to it, but I'm Edward Crawley Jr. Refer to myself as King Crawley. As a profession, I'm a truck driver. I'm a trucker in a pretty decent situation. Father of 4 kids, been married twice. So I have 2 kids by my first wife, 2 by my second. I'm a grandfather at 41. My daughter has a nice, healthy, how many months is he now?
Oh.
That's sad. I was just over there with him yesterday. He's a big fella. He's under 1 though. But as far as this platform and what I do now is more so, it's for now, but it's for the future as well. As far as having conversations with people that the information that we present is as good in 10 years as it is right now. I don't want to just have conversations that are trendy. I mean, we could do that and that'll be cool for now, but next year, will that matter? Or the year after? I want people to be able to go back to these conversations and say, 7 years later, that's still good, So that's part of what I feel my purpose is, to document some of these conversations so that people will have resources to come back to. And that's what I do and who I am in a nutshell. Okay, we're gonna get right to the questions. Thank you all for your intros. That was beautiful. And we're going to jump to the first question. We're going to start it off kind of easy. But I posed most of this question. It says, does a Black woman love the Black man? Marcia.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think that a Black woman would trade anything above a Black man. Black women love black men. With that said, though, we have a complicated history. We absolutely have a complicated history, and Black women have suffered lots of trauma at the hands of Black men. And, a lot of it, goes back generations, and we have a lot of healing to do. And so, what I say is that, if there was one thing that I could tell a Black man is, don't give up on Black women, because I think what happens is Black men have a tendency to compare Black women to other races of women. And they say that Black women are complicated, hard to deal with, and all the rest of these things. But what they don't take into account is all the trauma that Black women have had to deal with at the hands of Black men and society in general, right? But let's just take the trauma that they've had to deal with at the hands of Black men, right? Who are the people who are supposed to be protecting us. So many Black women at young ages have had sexual trauma, for example, at the hands of Black men. And that could be from their fathers, their uncles, their cousins, their nephews, or just complete strangers when they were young, right? Young girls, their mother's boyfriends, that's a real common one, where their mothers didn't even believe them, right? And so then they grow up with this like hardened heart. And then when they meet another Black man that they would love to trust and want to have this romantic affiliation with, they come with this wall up already. And you guys don't want to deal with bringing that wall down. You don't want to take that time to understand why that wall is up already, right? But that's important, like to understand why that wall is up in the first place. It's important to figure out why that wall is up in the first place. And the thing is, she may not even know why that wall is up in the first place. So get this. When I talked about mental health, when I started talking about therapy in the beginning of my introduction, look, I'm 56 years old, be 57 this year. Check this. It wasn't until just a few years ago that I started realizing that a lot of the reason why I was sort of messed up in my own way was because of things that happened to me 30 plus years ago. Therapy brought that out of me. And I think that if we had more access, or at least the willingness to speak to somebody outside of our church, hello, somebody, or family, right?
Oh.
That we would be able to tease some of this stuff out. And I'm not saying that a Black man's got to be a therapist, but what I am saying is that Black men need to be more patient and understand that Black women have, like a whole lot of stuff that we're carrying around with us. But I'm telling you right now, to answer your question, a Black woman would not trade a Black man as fast as a Black man would trade a Black woman. That.
Oh.
Woo.
Go ahead, Chris, go.
I ain't got nothing to say.
I have some input.
Go ahead, Stephanie, because I disagree.
I don't see that it is possible for a Black woman not to love a Black man, because there's no way you have to love yourself first. And I just view a Black man as my mirror. So I don't think that if I hate my Black man, I hate myself. So I don't see how I could not love a Black man. And especially when we come from a Black man. So I don't see how that's like self-hate. Now, what I have realized is that sometimes I can love a Black man better than they love themselves. And sometimes they don't know who they are. So the lack of identity feeds into the self-hate, and they don't know they're self-hating. A lot of times that's shown in not being original. They look at the world and they mimic what they've seen in their environment. And I've been blessed to have been raised by strong Black men, strong Black woman. And a lot of times when I use that strength, and I'm because I'm very, very, I would say open. So I'm very open, and I don't ever think that someone should know how I feel or what I think unless I tell them. So I can't hold someone responsible for not knowing if I don't tell them. And so in speaking to Black men, sometimes it's intimidating for them because they're not ready to talk on that level. They're not ready to face their vulnerabilities. They're not ready to be vulnerable to themselves or to other people. So I just need for them to somehow find their true identity, love themselves. Then they can be a part of a relationship where they can receive love. Because a lot of times, if you don't love yourself, you can't receive love and you can't give it back.
And it's a lot of truth in the statements that both of you all made. I was going to ask you, where did that come from, Stephanie? But you said you grew up around strong men and strong women, because if you look around now, almost without saying, you can tell that a lot of this mentality comes from brokenness. It doesn't come from strong people teaching them on both ends that, okay, this is what men do, this is what women do, and this is how we come together. It's a lot of brokenness. But I got to give some pushback to you, Marcia, just because of what I've seen. You said that we would trade you all before you all trade us. Okay, but when I look around in media and just in the world, from what I've seen, it's more accepted for Black women to date white men or men of other races than for us to date white women. where the how it's viewed is different. Yeah, a lot of the ball players and stuff, they go get white women. And okay, I'll give an example. When someone like Serena Williams goes and marries someone of a different race, nobody really says anything. At least not from what I've heard. But if one of us do it, it's always, as soon as he gets some money, he run to a white woman. How far do you think I'm off from that?
I think what's happening right now is we're so used to seeing Black men run off with other races. Now it's just like, it's almost like, well, why are we being so loyal to y'all? You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the mentality, you know, for a lot of women is, we're being so loyal to y'all, but y'all ain't being loyal to us. And so then when we see it now, we're not bashing a Black woman for crossing over, because we've seen y'all do it over and over and over and over again. So no, we're not gonna bash a Black woman for crossing over when y'all been doing it for forever, ever.
Go ahead, Chris. Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so I'm gonna stir the pot. If we looking at time, like whether you're a millennial or baby boom, whatever, looking at those categories, when has anything changed? So, and we could say whether it's about, does the Black woman love the Black man? This is just my little piece on it. As me being a light-skinned Black man and coming up in school where there might be guys that are darker than me, and they might do things a little bit different, they might dress a little bit different, but they still get more love than a light-skinned brother. So as me as a Black man, if I'm a Black man, well, I'm not getting the same love and respect as a dark-skinned brother. But I mean, that's just me. You know, like for real, like, but the Black woman loves the Black man. But also we got to look at the generation that we're in today. The men and the women today are not what we had back, you know, when raising. I was raised old school. I got, you know, I was raised by good country folk, but things ain't the same. Things aren't just, they're not the same anymore. And like Stephanie said, you know, you got to love yourself before you can love anybody. It don't matter. I mean, color don't mean nothing. If I wouldn't be this color, this light-skinned color, if I ain't have a whole bunch of different races, you know, in genes and everything. Okay, but nevertheless, you know, we have to. We can't do it overnight. But I do get the part where us, as you know, the Black man, we can be looked upon differently, or just like me as being a light-skinned guy, a light-skinned Black dude, pretty boy, player, all that stuff. You know, you can't get ahead like that if the Black woman truly loves you when you already got a stereotype. Even in school, that I had a stereotype in like high school. Oh, you a pretty boy, you a player, whatever. I ain't never said I'm not perfect, but I didn't even have no money to really be a pretty boy. But does anybody got any? Okay.
I get that. I want to speak to what Marcia said and you, Chris. So I'm gonna try to combine it in one. When we come to the point of who did what first, I think it's the question of which one came first, the chicken or the egg. So I don't want to get caught in that cycle. What I would say is I've dated a variety of different races. And so in that, I like how I'm able, with the Black men, I like how I'm able to share my culture. So it always brings me back to myself, because it's certain, like, history is what Marcia said, that the history that we share together, where, you know, other races may not be able to understand our struggle, our challenges, our achievements, you know, and I love that, where it's kind of like celebrating with myself. I love my Black man because that's the part that I'm celebrating with myself. It's being around myself. And so speaking to what you were talking about, Chris, I got the same treatment, but on a different side. Being dark skinned, I will always be approached by lighter skinned men. And with me, it didn't matter. If you had character, value, and I was attracting you, I was good. It didn't matter the shade. And so, but I will always be approached by lighter skinned men, and darker skinned men always went for lighter skinned women. Yeah. And I had heard before that darker skinned women have attitudes. And, I've never really, people say a lot of things, so I really don't put much stock in what people say. I always try to challenge them to view me differently, deal with me one-on-one. Don't put me in a box, because I'm gonna be different from the people you've dated. I'm gonna be different from the stereotype, because I'm not that person. I might have some similar characteristics, but in certain situations I may respond differently. So I just challenge people to challenge me. I said, just, you give people a chance. It's just like when people have their hearts broken, some of them just shut down, from being in a relationship. And I'm like, you can't make other people pay for what previous people did. Just be willing to just step out there. So I just don't see what the big issue is about different shades. They're beautiful in all shades, people are.
Okay, I have a question, because you both touched on it. At what point, as many disappointments as we might have brought to you all, at what point does the wall come down with a man? At what point does it come down? Because as you both referred to, there are things that have happened over time that put us in these places, these positions. And so when we approach you all, we are up against a lot of things that you all have dealt with. At what point does that wall come down to allow us in? Because me personally, I've seen situations where I've done, quote unquote, everything right over a period of time, yet that still wasn't enough to combat the past trauma. I still hadn't reached that mark. So at what point do we get there? Because all of us are not out here to, of course we're all flawed, but all of us are not out here to bring more trauma. So what point, how do we get there? Stephanie.
Thank you. I would say that actually starts with self-healing, as Marcia said, because I've been to a point, even, and I try to think of every relationship, not just an intimate one between man and woman, but I try to think of even my friendships. I have a very close friend that it's no matter how much I love her, her past won't allow her to receive love. And, it's just like you get tired of proving yourself. And so, it's just like, well, I've shown you everything, and what more can I do? And so I just stopped trying. What I've changed is I stopped just pushing. And what I do is just be there. And so it was a book I read, and this is very significant. And it was 3 ways of helping people. You could work with, or just being there. And I've always been one. It's hard to continuously just pour out yourself and be there. So what I did was, I'm just being here. So for me, that was a change. I had to learn to be a different friend for her. So whereas I couldn't fix everything for her, I just had to be here while she changed, and just be to her what she needed me to be, not who I thought I needed to be to her. And so that's a hard concept, because you think that you're actually fulfilling a need, and you're not. You need to ask that person, what do you need from me? How do you need for me to be your friend, or how do you need for me to be your mate? Because a lot of times we think we know and we don't, and to have that. My thing is I can deal with any man who's willing to have the conversation. My experience has always been that men shut down. They don't want to have the conversation. So I encourage that to have the conversation. So that's where I am with that.
Okay, Marcia.
Yeah, I think women need to feel safe.
Okay.
Women need to feel safe, and they need to know what their own trauma is.
Okay, when safe, what do you mean? They need to feel safe. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Women need to know that they can trust you. They need to know that they can trust you with their scars. They need to know that they can trust you with their secrets. They need to know that they can trust you with their pain. And just like Stephanie alluded to, it's being able to have that conversation and not being judged and not being persecuted, and just to have a friend like in your mate. Like that's a really, really big thing. It's hard, right? Because I don't know that everybody knows how to be a lover and a friend, right? I don't, and I know that men, want to be like our protector. I know that they want that, but how men oftentimes like don't want to talk. Like that's like the last thing they want to do is talk, right? But women need that outlet, and what they need it mostly with their mate. Like that's who they need it with. Like they can get it from their girls all day and twice on Sunday, but who they need it from are the people who are supposed to be covering them. And that's y'all.
Let me jump in. And here's the thing too. From our experiences, we shut down because, okay, of course, a lot of times as men, we're taught to suck it up, be tough, don't cry, don't complain. We're taught that coming up, be tough. Okay, so the times that we do allow ourselves to be vulnerable with a woman, especially earlier when we start to get into relationships, once you crush us one time, it's like we automatically shut down because all our life we've been taught, don't even do that. Don't even let anybody see that part of you. So now that I've let one person see it and they've proven that, yeah, I'm gonna throw this back in your face. I'm gonna use this against you. Then it's even harder the next time to open up and show that side of ourselves. So it's not that we don't want to talk. Well, at least I know for myself, sometimes it's not that I don't want to talk. We're afraid. Simple as that. We're afraid. Chris, can you chime in on something?
And I know what it is to have my heart ripped out, thrown on the ground, stepped on, rolled over, put it in a blender. And I mean, I'm for real, man. I mean, this is years ago, but I know. And when you go through something like that in a relationship and you just do everything. You just do everything and make sure everything is perfect. Do your part. And then next thing you know, the person that you're talking with didn't have the best interest at heart for you. So it brings those scars. Men get scarred. We got scars as well. And I'm not taking nothing from the woman, the Black woman, by any means, because of course, the world damn near rests on the Black woman's back. And if you think about it. So I get that. I understand that. I understand it. I'm not a woman, but because I can feel. Yeah, you can feel, when women say something, when they especially talk about any type of trauma thing like that, you can feel it. And so they're not playing no games. It's real life shit. So as far as me being a tough man, going through bad relationships, it makes you, it makes a part of you dies, therefore that shutdown part is more. It's easier for a man to shut down, not to talk, because it's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm in this relationship and I don't want to talk about it. Just let it be. I don't want to create no issues. I don't want to have to go through no hurt, no pain, you know. So yeah, I mean, sometimes that's, you know, looking back, sometimes it is that was the easiest way to be, just to shut down and not use your big boy voice or your words, you know. So, but also we have to also understand that everybody's life is different. We all don't have, we didn't have the same past, or we don't have the same present or the future. But the great thing about what we're doing, we're talking about it amongst ourselves right now, but people are going to see it. So it might help that the next person that's coming up. So.
Okay. Another question. And this just kind of came to me. Well, first, because the question will only apply if you say yes. I know, Chris, you're in a relationship. Are you two single and open to dating? Because the question won't matter if you say no.
Yes.
If are we single and open to what?
Dating.
Not dating each other.
Look, always a man, right? Always a man. I'll say yes to that with yeah, it has to be. Well, I'll wait for my turn. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what's the biggest obstacle? That's really all I'm asking. What's the biggest obstacle in dating? If you have any type of success, are men intimidated? Are they afraid to come to you? And if they do have the courage to come to you, what's stopping it from going further? Nowadays, like 2021, what does dating look like?
Tell you that.
Marcia?
I don't know. I don't like the online thing. I don't like it at all. It's time consuming. It's just, I don't like it. I'm not an online kind of chick. I think you have to be of a certain age to really kind of get into it. And let me back that up, because there are people who are my age that are really into it. So it's just not for me. I don't like it. And I like meeting people in person so I'm an energy type of chick, right? So I want to feel your energy, and I can't feel your energy on the internet. And that's how you kind of meet people. And I'm super busy. Like I work in real estate. I'm on these boards, like I'm constantly busy. So I used to have these parties, and the parties were bomb. And so people could, like bring their friends and stuff. And that's how I could meet people. And now, because of COVID had us locked down, and I was serious about COVID. Okay, I wasn't messing around. I still get my groceries delivered, okay? So the biggest obstacle for me is not having access to people. That's the biggest obstacle.
Okay. Stephanie?
So I am single, and I'm only open to dating a man who is serious.
Don't say dark skin.
who is serious, because I don't mind working, but I don't like to be inefficient. And I don't want to have to pull it out of you to communicate. Like, it's certain things that I expect to work on in a relationship. But let's just come to the table. I need you to at least just come to the table. I can't, what I found is a lot of times.
So what's the basic things a man needs to come to the table with?
Ooh.
Go ahead, Marcia. Go ahead.
You start.
Well, at this point in time, because I've been in relationships where I've actually provided a lot financially, and I've invested a lot financially, they would at least have to be at a similar level, not to what I'm making, but to actually have the mindset, a similar mindset, like home ownership, just have that in mind, because it's not about the money. Like with me, I make my own. I don't need him or his money. Now, it's good when we combine our efforts because we can do more together. But the thing is I need more of a partner in the things I need. Like, say, for instance, like in one of my previous relationships, all I needed was, hey, can you take out the trash? You know, can you, like, we only had 3 rooms. And all he had to do was go to 3 rooms and gather the trash and take it to the dumpster. He said, if you gather it, I'll take it out. Well, if that's the case, I might as well take it out myself. So, you know, that's where I was. I'm like, I'm doing everything in the household. And he thought it was enough for him to just provide financially. So that's why I say it's not about the money, because when I had that, it wasn't enough. I need you to be engaged. I need you, you know, when God asks for our time, talent, and money, he wants all of us, not just part of us. You know, I need for you to be engaged in this relationship. You know, when we first started off, we talked, we took, you know, take time for me. You know, if I tell you that, hey, I'm trying to work out this budget, but I know you're better, that's a point where I'm like giving you kudos. I'm like, yeah, you can do this better. I've gotten this before. Well, that's not my job. You always do it, you know, and I'm just like, okay, this is our household. So we need to partner in this. If you do this better, why not do it with me? I'm not asking you to do it for me. I'm asking you to, you know, help me. So that's what I need. I don't need just your finances. It's good when we combine efforts, but I need you to be engaged, and I need your heart, and I need, you know, just a partnership.
That's good stuff. That's good. That's good. Marcia, go ahead. It warmed up real good now. Okay. Yeah.
I know that a lot of y'all think that women are just after your pockets. And
Some of them are.
And some of them are. Women of a certain age, you know, we got our bag, and it's all good. It's not a competition. It's about a partnership. Just like Stephanie was saying, we looking for somebody to build with, not build on. You know what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying? Like we want a partner, right? We want a partner in life. That's what we want. So you don't have to worry about like locking your bag down, because that ain't really what we after. We after a partner that we can enjoy life with, not on. So some of my things, I wrote them things down. Baby, because you know, my man, like he got to have his stuff together. He got to be able to take care of himself, obviously, because I'm not a sugar mama, period, point blank. If I got to lock my bag down, that's what I'm going to do. Like, you're not coming up in here thinking you're going to live on me. That's not going to happen. That's number one. But first and foremost, really, I need a man that's already got his mental health in check. For me, that's big. Like, you have to already have like invested in your own mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Like, you have to know what your own scars are. Like, I think that a lot of men don't even realize like some of the things that some of their own trauma. You men have already mentioned that when in the past, when women have like destroyed your hearts or whatever, then that you guys have shut down, which to me is sad. It's sad to me, because what you're doing is you are making all future women pay for what one woman has done to you in the past. And that's just not fair. It's not fair. And so if you haven't dealt with your own mental health, if you haven't dealt with your own scars, then I'm sorry, I'm not your therapist. I'm willing to chat with you about it, right? I'm willing to have a conversation with you about it. But if you haven't even started like down the road to healing yourself, then that's going to be a problem. Like, you and I, we're not going to be able to vibe. And I'm going to be able to peep that, because I've been in therapy for so long. I'm going to be able to peep that in no time flat. That's going to be another issue. Another thing is, I can't deal with anybody that overindulges in their pleasures. So if you a gambler, if you a drinker, if you a smoker, if you like to shop like all the time, all those things, and you overindulge in those types of things, you can't keep control of those things, I can't mess with you either. Like, you need to be able to manage like your indulgences. Like, I can't deal with anybody that can't manage their indulgences. And that includes work. Oh, by the way, because some people overindulge work.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Because I need somebody that's going to be able to spend time with me. I need attention, honey. I do. Like, I need somebody to, if you're going to overindulge in something, overindulge on me. Okay. The girl needs, like,
No, that's right.
That's all I'm saying. All right? So I need that work-life balance to be in check. And then if you believe in that whole polygamy thing, like, I'm not for it. Like, I'm not trying to be a sister wife. So.
Now, have you always felt that been this particular or specific, or did that come with?
That came with time.
Okay. Okay. So along with, now I'm just jump right into it, so all of us can get into this. Are you toxic?
Wait, Ed, can I just add one thing and I'll ask?
Hey, go ahead.
One other thing that I wanted to really hone in on that we don't sometimes think about in the last question, that we need our mate to have, is compassion to help our parents, because as my parents are aging and I'm a caretaker, I'm expecting their parents to probably age too. So you want that mate who's gonna, give your mother a bath. Okay. And you want that mate who's gonna help your father out in the yard. If he's like, my dad walks around with 2 canes trying to cut grass. And that's what I expected my mate to do, to be here to help with that, and vice versa, because I'm a wonderful daughter-in-law. I still have my mother-in-laws who always say, I keep in touch with, and I've learned that not to cut them off just because I'm in a new relationship, because they shouldn't have to pay for what their son didn't do.
Right.
Dude, that's good. And I'm not gonna go to the toxic question yet. That's good. Okay, question on what you just asked. What if he doesn't have it to the level in which you have it? Is he wrong for that?
Oh no, we could work on that. But I just need someone to be able to work on it. Even if he's like at the beginning of, breaking down all of these issues that happened in his past, because I've been with men that are hurt, and I realized that they were hurt after the relationship ended. And I was like, wow, had we dealt with that and had they said, hey, because I was always open to counseling, I would, let's go to counseling. I would be the only one there. My first husband did actually go one time, but the thing is like, and he was open to counseling, but I need someone who's going to be continuously open to counseling. Let's work on this thing, because, I'm a fighter, and if I believe in something, then I'll fight to the end. And I'm very passionate about what I believe in. I'm passionate, like Marcia, about love. And so I have that example in my parents, and to the point where, if it's worth fighting for.
Right.
And I'm not just saying for specifics. I just wanted to make sure that I'm clear about this. Sometimes people think of marriage just on paper. I believe that God gives us the authority to marry. So with my second husband, we weren't married on paper, but it was as much of a marriage as my first marriage. And I just wanted to put that out there, because some people think, hey, it's just, it's just a marriage if it's on paper, and it's not.
No.
And I'm glad you said that, because instead of the other question, I wanted to segue into a marriage question. Okay, when considering marriage or a long-term bond or commitment with someone, is the relationship looked at more for the love, or is it considered business first or included with that? Because some people get married just because I'm in love, I love this person, the love of my life. But in actuality, marriage is business. Do you agree or disagree? Anybody can answer that.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. But today's time, marriage is more or less a business.
Talk about it.
I mean, looking at just life in general, like my relationships I've been in, I think like the monetary value of people wanting this, they wanting that, they want to be able to go places and things like that they might not be able to do by themselves. So some, I'm not saying all, but some people, whether it's man or female, could I want to be with this woman. This woman is a little bit better off than me. Or because sometimes money does attract people, or the way you dress or what you have attracts people. So yeah, it could be. I mean, it's a lot of, if you look at the higher paid individuals in the world, you can't say it's not a business. I mean, the poor, you don't see the poor marrying the rich, and you don't see the rich marrying the poor, but you see people on a level playing field marrying each other. So is it love or is it business? I mean, that's just the way. I mean, if you break it down. I mean, just think about it. And you don't nobody has to agree with what I'm saying, but it's like an analytical question. So when the last time you've seen a poor person marry a rich or wealthy person?
Shoot, it happens all the time. Shoot, that them thoughts be on.
Oh no, that's
they be all up in them society.
Money for us to want you. You know what I'm saying? So we can have the money. You be broke. We'll come get you if we like you.
That is real talk. But I think I do think at on some levels it's business. If it's marriage, like on paper, and I think for I think it makes sense in some cases, like, for, the purposes of healthcare and, all the rest of that different stuff. So in some cases, it's business. And in some cases it's love. I mean, I think it just, depends on the individual. Like for me, for example, I don't ever intend on getting married again. But like Stephanie said, what's the verse in the Bible? When a man finds a woman, he
Fine is a good thing.
And when a man finds a woman, you understand what I'm saying? So it's just like, if you're carrying yourself as a wife, you're a wife. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it doesn't require a piece of paper for you to be a wife. So I can be in a long-term relationship with somebody and be a wife. I don't need a piece of paper to be this man's wife. Just like Stephanie was in her last relationship, she was a wife. They didn't have a piece of paper, but she was a wife. She was carrying herself as a wife. They were living as husband and wife. They were married. He found a wife. She carried herself as a wife. She was a wife. And, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure that was romantic and not business. And so when I get into mine, it'll probably be a little bit of both, actually. If I'm 100% honest, because I want that beach house, and he's probably going to have to kick in some dollars so I can get that beach house.
That's real. Stephanie, you looked a little perplexed when I first asked that question. So what's your thoughts?
Well, I was overthinking the question. So that's what my thought was, because I was like, is he asking, should it be, or is that the reality? So I'm gonna. Okay, I do think that is the reality. A lot of times when I see relationships, and I think that's the fallacy in it. I believe fallacy to the point of scripture even talks about love and how love will cover a multitude of sins. And so I don't think that there are some things that only love could get me over, not business, and so
vice versa too.
I would say that, with my business life, I'm very strategic and very cut and dry. And in relationships, in a committed relationship, you can't just be cut and dry. You can't, you could be strategic together, not against the person, but there are some times where it was to the point of, okay, I need to love you more than I love myself, at that point, in that instance, because, what I really wanted to do is not what was good for the relationship at that time or that instance. So you have to have love, because that's the only thing that's going to keep y'all together, and only thing that's gonna help you forgive and stay in it. Because sometimes, I used to be a runner. I run from things. I'm like, I don't have time to deal with this, peace. But I learned to stay. I'm staying not because I want to, but because I love you. And so that's where it became bigger than me. And when I talk about, as far as like marriage off of paper, a lot of people, especially older people, tend to have a problem with that. And I think the paper
Stacking up.
Yeah, but the paper came in because people failed to keep their promises. I think we have a generation, not just this new generation, but a generation of thinking, and that's any age, where you can just break your promise. No, when my ex and us, when we got together, it was a verbal promise. And when you leave that's when you break that promise. That's why the piece of paper exists, because people won't keep their promise. So if we could actually have people that will keep their promises, stay in that relationship and work on it, then we wouldn't need a piece of paper. And so I'm just saying to myself, God, when you send the person, and if you do, if you don't, I'm good. But if you do send the person, then I believe that his word will be good enough where we don't need a paper to keep us in a relationship.
Because along with what you're saying, even in the marriage ceremony, you stand there and make promises to each other. You give your word to each other.
You vow, yes,
to each other. Then, so that, of course, people follow the law of the land and things of that nature. But yeah, if my word is good before the piece of paper, it shouldn't take the piece of paper to make my word to be good.
Yes. And then I also tossed the question back out to people that believe in the paper and it doesn't exist without the paper, is how is it that that same paper that you really respect, and that's the defining moment of a marriage, how is it that the same paper is actually representing same-sex marriage now? So the same sex, if you don't agree with that, how is it that the paper that you have for a man and wife is actually representative of a man and man, or a woman and woman? So how good is that paper if you don't agree with that? So that's what my question is.
That's a heavy question. Real quick, how do some respond to that? Are they able to?
They don't.
Wow, that's heavy. Okay, here are my thoughts real quick on it. It kind of ties into something you said, Stephanie, about the mindset. So when I look at it as, love has to come into play. And without giving, of course, full details, I look at how, and especially like my last marriage, we actually had business together. And understanding their mindset about business, if I had known that prior, we might not have got married. And it's not that they were bad business people. We made a decent amount of money, but their mindset concerning it didn't allow me to be a participant in it as I should have been as partners. So on one end, the love end, we cool, but on the business end, it wasn't so cool, So that, like I said, it goes back to the mindset, knowing how a person views how to handle money, credit, and like what's your 5-10 year plan, stuff like that. I think matters when talking to a person that you plan to be with for a long time. Yeah, this good feeling, this feels good, you smell good, you look good, all that good stuff. What's going to happen in 2 years? What's your plan next? What's your next move? Because if I'm the type of person, I'm always working on something, working towards a goal, have standards, you got to be more than just cute and I love you and I like you. So that's why I say they both come into play, and both should be considered before taking that full leap, whether you sign the paper or just have a lifelong commitment. I think it needs to be a balance of both, because sometimes, yeah, love is going to be what gets you through, but sometimes that trip to Hawaii might get you through too. So that's kind of how I look at it. It needs to be a balance of both. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
I did want to say that sometimes what looks like business is sometimes being pulled together as we think similarly. So it's kind of like because I had a business, a cleaning business with my first husband, and it worked well because
my second wife, we had a cleaning business.
It worked well because we had like, he was the visionary. He got out there, and got the contracts, and I was the one that, you give me a plan and I'll make sure it happens. And so we worked well together, but it was because we thought similarly. So it was it actually, we thought similarly, and it was recognized within the business. So I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, you kind of see where a person thinks and how a person thinks. And even with my second husband, he had a fitness and wellness business, and my scientific background helped with the oil therapy. And, we would bounce. I think we were excellent together when it came to the professional part, but that's all he wanted to do. And so that's why I was just like, hey, we need more of a balance here. That's not all I want to do. So right. That was a learning thing. Like, hey, do I really want to be in business with my husband? And so, because sometimes there's no balance, and I'm a balanced person. I seek balance even when I'm out of balance.
Okay. That's beautiful. Did you have something else, Marcia? I see you shaking your head.
No, I'm loving listening to Stephanie. She's just like, that's my hero, my shero.
Yeah,
I love you.
Perspective on you're making me think, and I like that. Let me see. I was gonna go a different way with the question, but let me see which one I want to bring in there now. Okay. And I'm not saying that I agree. I think I put this in the chat too. I'm not sure. But there's a narrative going around that says successful men don't cheat. Option. Okay, I'm gonna flip it around. If it's valid, then does that apply to successful women as well? If it's valid, now you might disagree and say cheating is cheating. But just going along with that narrative, they say if successful men don't cheat, they're exercising options. So when women do it, are they exercising options, or are they? Go ahead, Stephanie. I know you got some. I see you ready to jump in there.
Well, I'm just laughing because that is the same. Okay, cheating is cheating, and people try to say whatever and dress it up. It's kind of like when I used to tell people, you're lying. You're lying by omission. It's lying. So if you could actually step out and really not be intimate with someone, and you've cheated, it's so you have to watch your heart and make sure that when you give it to a person, it's to the one person, not to many, because some people are ones that can love a lot of people, and that's okay. That's okay, but you have to have a boundary on that love. You have to be able to understand, like, don't date your assignment. These people are in your life for a reason. You need to understand the purpose why they're in your life.
Pause. I think that's my issue. A lot earlier on, I dated too many assignments. I did it too. Yeah, because you're just like, yeah.
I think I cheated on my assignments. I've been saying.
At least you're honest.
I ain't called no names, so I'm good. I ain't called no names.
You'll just get called.
So cheating, what do you feel? Is it exercising options? What is it? Like I'm not saying I agree with the narrative, but that's been a narrative that's been presented here lately. So just putting it out there.
The only thing I can say is this generation, with all these new things that are actually that people actually believe in, whether it's polygamy or, you know, man and man, woman and woman. I mean, they're making it normal. They're normal. How about this? They're normalizing cheating. How about that? When you put cheating in a category of a successful person or whatever, now you're just normalizing cheating. You're making it seem that it's okay, you know. Okay. But at the same, in the same breath, I mean, if you're gonna be committed, no matter if you're gonna be 3 people in a relationship, as long as, to me, I'll allow people with their free will. They got it. They can use it. So, but guess what? If it's 3 people in a relationship, they need to be committed. They're gonna be best to be committed to these 3. 1, 2, 3. If you got people out there that you got people. One man got 4 wives, and that's their religion. I mean, so I'm not judging. I'm just saying the world that we live in is the world that we live in. So if they got an assignment or a test or whatever, they gotta go do something while they with this person, their main, and they go get to this. Hey, that's on them. If they feel that it's okay, and you got people that encourage them that it's okay, and society is encouraging people that it's okay, or even way back when, some people talk about, well, you're talking to this girl, that's your girlfriend. Well, we better get out there and sow your wild oats, But I mean, to each his own. But it's like Pandora's box. You keep on playing with it, you're gonna open it up, and you're gonna get something that you don't even.
And they have.
You seem a little irritated by the question. Come on with something. What you got?
Oh, I wasn't irritated by the question. I was irritated by, the rabbit hole that Chris went down. I'm just like, what in the world? The question was.
I know what the question was.
Yeah, but you was so anxious to go down the polygamy road. It was just like, what in the world?
I mean, it's just the way you come on now. Look.
No, I don't want to come on. Like, I don't want to be drugged down that hole. Like, I wanted to. Gracious. I really wanted to piggyback on what Stephanie said about how, cheating is cheating. And I did want to say that, you can be online and establish a relationship and have establish an emotional relationship with somebody, and that's cheating. And so I don't care if you're a man or a woman and you're successful, just because you're successful. No, it's not exercising options, it's cheating. So cheating is cheating.
Yeah, I feel like be upfront with what your intentions are. So if you're out here just dating, make it be clear. Look, I plan to date other people as well.
Yes.
If I give you my word that I'm committed to you, then yes, it's cheating. I don't care how much money I make. If I've given you my word, see, we've gotten away from, and we've all touched on it. There used to be a phrase, my word is bond. My word is my bond.
Yes.
My word is my bond. Now it's like, my word ain't worth nothing. I said that, but I'm gonna do what I want to do because it's 2021 and I'm grown. But you gave your word. Your word should still be valuable. If you don't have anything else, you have your words. I don't follow that narrative about, I'm successful, so I'm just exercise options. No, if I gave you my word, then I have to stick by that. Go ahead, Stephanie.
You can tell from my face. And there was a time, I know, I'm like, yes, I'm feeling you. Yes. Because, my dad is just like, speaking of my great grandfather, he said there was a time when his word was all he had. Like, literally, he didn't have any money, and, my great grandfather's name was Red Burton. So he was just like, Red said it, it's good as money. So the thing is I think people have to go back to that, because there may be a time where that's all you have. We don't know where it's going. And this money, this dollar, this, what's the value? What's the value of that? Is your word. I'm not going to let any, say what?
Especially when they're talking about the crypto and everything else going on.
Yes.
What's anything right now? How do we know how it's going to end up?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not going to let anything else be more valuable than my word.
I like that. You all right, Stephanie. You say some very profound. Coming with something? I thought you had your hand up.
I was just doing this, but no, like you said, that one of the sayings where a man is only as good as his word.
Yeah.
And I know for me, coming up, like, and like I said, I've had assignments in but
stay away from the no.
No,
don't go down that rabbit hole again.
No, I'm talking as far as growth in life, and as far as your word, we kind of went out. No, yeah, like your word. I mean, even in business, your word is key. You gotta come through. And be solid with those verbal. When you can, because I deal with this on a daily basis. When you can say, "Hey, John, I'm gonna be there between 11 and 12." That's my word. We don't have no law of, no sign, nothing. It's just communication. So yeah, your word is deep, and it goes deep with commitments and partnerships and relationships. And just my thing is, whatever you decide to do now, look, I'm different than everybody else now. So I'm just saying, I'm a little special. But
Chris. Today.
Oh, man.
But no, for real, just stay true. For me, I was like, stay true to what you say. That's the biggest thing. Unless you have some different type of understanding with that relationship or situation.
That's good. Like y'all really cooking. Y'all really cooking.
Yeah, I'm hot.
It is.
I'm glad y'all invited me. This is really awesome.
No, look,
you on fire, Steph.
Yeah,
y'all.
You
It's
on
y'all.
fire.
I'm mirroring y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna get into something. Let me see.
Uh-oh.
Here's the thing. I have two mature women on the line today, so I'm having to rethink some of the questions because you all don't fit into the ratchet category, which I know you didn't. Talking to women today. Yeah.
What have you told him? No, I was just playing. We don't fit into that category.
Thankfully, you don't. But, okay. But has the ratchetness, has reality TV and the stuff that they portray, has that played a role in shaping some of the confusion that's out there? And if so, what have you observed that it has done? You got some stuff, and I see you. I can tell. Go ahead.
It's all on my face, right?
Go ahead with it.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it's over the top. It really is. I can't even watch it. For me, I'm just like,
don't watch it.
Yeah, and I'm appalled, and I don't mean to be like a stick in the mud. I'm like, I believe in entertainment, but to what point? And I'm not gonna pick on Tyler because I love Tyler, but I just expected something different, because I'm like, yeah, Tyler, my boy, I could watch his shows. I needed something for me. I needed like TV that I could watch. I'm still in the heat of the night, because I'm trying to, and Golden Girls, what's that about? I'm like, I need some TV for me. I'm tired, I've watched Lifetime. I'm tired of Lifetime, so I'm just like, I watch OWN. And when I do watch TV,
I find myself going to the older shows, and because I don't really, that's not me, the reality TV. I don't see myself in that. I see my skin color, but just because my skin color is there doesn't mean that that's me. So, I want more TV that looks like me, that acts like me. Now, I love Queen Sugar because I can relate to that. It was good writing. I can relate to, the family challenges and the hurt and the pain and losing someone. And even with them, they actually were able to give something to our people during COVID. I love they even, when we needed some hope, they had a wedding on. It was just like they really know how to speak to the heart of the people, and that's what I needed. That's where I am.
Good. That's good. Marcia?
Yes, see, I don't watch reality TV like that because I don't think it's representative of who we are as a people or or the direction that we're going in. So yeah, there's a whole lot of ratchetness on there, and I think that it's sending the wrong message, especially to our young girls. And what we should be showing them is the direction that we're actually going in, not that. That's not reality. They call it reality TV, but it actually isn't reality. Black women are the number one population of PhDs in this country, which a whole lot of people don't know. We also are like the largest growing population of what I call small businesses, and if you were able to look on my laptop, it says the future is female and Black, and that's just the truth. It's going to be the Black woman that actually changes the trajectory of how this country is moving. So reality TV, like those types of shows that show, Black women arguing and fighting and wearing, and I don't have anything against, weave or, all these long nails or these, ridiculous outfits or any of all, and, all this makeup or all this stuff. I don't have anything against it. It's just that our young girls are trying to mimic all of that. And instead of us showing them that they can embrace their natural beauty, they're trying to mimic that. And I think that the example that we should be setting is something completely different. What we should be pushing them towards is building their own businesses, embracing their natural beauty, embracing science, technology, engineering, and math, so that they can be more representative in those types of industries. I mean, there are other things that we need to be pushing instead of reality TV. If I had a daughter and I could keep her from watching those types of things, I would not allow her to watch those things if I could prevent that. Or I would let her watch it actually and just tell her, look, that's not representative of who we are. And then I would show her what Black women are actually doing in the world today, like Stacey Abrams, because, Stacey Abrams is, that's representative of what we're actually doing in the world today, not the ratchetness that's on TV. I don't even watch it.
Neither. And that's a goal that they can actually really shoot for. The thing that really bothers me with it is not, it's that they aim it at the younger kids, the younger women. But when I see people closer to my age embracing it and trying that, so it's like, so who's going to teach the younger women if y'all that's my age are doing it? If we're lost, then we can't complain about them being lost. Right. So that's more my thing. Like, I expect them to try to attack the younger generation. They've always given messages to the younger people. But thankfully, we had the older generation to tell us, like, show us, like, no, that's not how it goes. Also, it was another point I was going to make. Okay, it seems that they're content to kill, well, it's all mental battle, but it seems that they're content to kill us physically, but they want to attack you all mentally. So they know if they can keep giving these to you all, because as you the world is going to go the way the Black woman goes. So if they can tell y'all to constantly fight each other, constantly not get along with each other and not love the Black man, just constantly have your mind in disarray, we're going to follow that. Everything is going to follow whether it's right or wrong, we're going to follow you all. So they can keep on feeding the wrong programming. They're going to try to use you all to lead us into whatever path they want to take us.
Right.
That goes back to us having platforms like this to put the right information out there. Go ahead, Stephanie. You have.
Yeah, I have two questions. After hearing some of the feedback, because there are some people that have been on reality television, and they actually have said, hey, well, they made us do this, they made us do that. So my question is, how real is reality TV? Because they're actually prompting, they're trying to create a dynamic that is not there just so they can have ratings. And the second question is, when did my life become so boring that I need to watch a reality TV show on living?
Right. Well, listen, I was watching one of my favorite podcasts the other day, and one of the a guy that used to write on the show, he broke down how a scene would get from being just a basic scene to escalating to them fighting. He said they would shoot the scene, then they would take from what they got from there, they would pull one to the side, tell them, okay, now say it like this. Then they'll go back. That whatever they told them would add a little more fuel to the fire. Mm-hmm. They'll cut again, pull the other person, get them a little stirred up. Then they'll shoot the third part. By that time, both people mad. This when you get to the throwing the drinks. Oh, wow. Why do y'all allow them to do that? Why do y'all allow them to get you mad at a person you weren't even mad with?
Yeah.
And you sit there and do it. And then y'all present that to us like it's reality.
It's that
it takes.
Yeah, it's that dollar, man.
Mm-hmm. But nobody wants to call that out. It's sad. It's sad. You had some on that, Chris?
I would say it's that money, it's that dollar. And reality TV is so scripted. It really is. And it's just annoying to me. Like, I'll be honest with you, I rarely watch TV. If I want to watch something that's entertaining, I'm gonna watch a movie or episode. I know that stuff is binge watch, Netflix. I know that stuff is fake, but I'm not about to watch people do dumb stuff on TV and say it's reality TV.
Right.
And I'm 35. I'll be 36 June 4th. But like you're saying, like, people that are older than me are acting like what's being displayed on TV. Yeah. Now, I was raised a whole different way. Now, like I said, if somebody's ahead of me and they got kids that are maybe the same age as my kids, shit, we're heading in the wrong direction. We're heading in the wrong. Go ahead.
Our voice become the minority because so many others follow that when we say stuff like this, or y'all just hating it. Like, no, logic and reason still matter. Good home training, and home stuff like that still matters.
And that's
like when I came up, even though I'm 41, home training, that was a word that you were taught certain things so that when you went out this house, you knew you didn't cut up. So that's why when I see, and I'm not going off on that tangent, but when I see certain things from kids and stuff in public, I say, oh, they do that at home.
Yes.
Let's get this in Walmart. No, they turn the house up too. I'm not going to go tangent. That's for another time. Anybody else have something to add to that one? Because I could talk about that for a minute. Because that's okay. I'm asking the next question. Are you toxic, Marcia?
Hell no.
You said
in the antithesis of toxicity. Okay, I am not toxic. I am a healer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a healer. I am. I deplore toxicity, and I cannot have it in my world. I can't have negativity in the world. Now I know all of us have a little bit of negativity. All of us have, whatever. But like, I'm an energy person. And so, like, I believe in staying on this higher level, this higher energy, wavelength. And so if you're constantly talking negative, if you're constantly just, like down in the dumps, if you just haven't dealt with your stuff, I can't. Like I can't, I know I've lost friends, over this. And I'm just like, when all they can do is talk negative, I'm just like, tell me something good. Like,
okay, now, do you actually interject and tell them, like, because some people are just put up, so you actually tell them?
I have actually told them. I was like, I'm like, time out. Like I can't take any more. Tell
That's
me.
like I like. Some people wouldn't do that. They'll just back away or start talking about you like such and such. Always tell me directly.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no. It's just like I love you. I love you, and and I hate that you're going through so much right now. I was like, but I can, because I take in a lot of. I'm an empath.
Okay.
So I take in a lot of energy, and I only take in so much negative energy. And so I'll tell my friends, if they're like raining negative energy on me, like I can only take so much negative energy. And right now I'm at my limit. So tell me something good.
Okay. Chris, I already know your answer. Go ahead.
I'm a little toxic boy. But look, you gotta own it if it's yours. But because we had this discussion in the last episode, so it's not like it's my side. It's not like the bad side, but you got to take the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like everybody got a little bit of good, bad in them. So, and whether it's something negative or whatever, it's just in you, because I feel like even in relationships or friendships, the good toxic stuff is when you poke in the bed or trying to get a reaction type deal. So if I keep poking, I'm like, now look, I done told you, it's okay for them people to have that polygamy and open that rabbit hole. And see, that's that form of being toxic. Because that's when you're doing something in that friendship to irritate somebody, because you're gonna get a reaction. But like I said, you got the good toxic, you got the bad toxic. No different than you got your good, you got your bad, you got your negative and your positive. I mean, that's just what it is. That's my view. I think I said a little bit better this time versus last time. But I mean, hey. So
okay. All good answers. I mean, they're your answers. Am I toxic? Well, I'll say this. I'm at the phase of my life now where it's doing the work. I'm doing the work. So, okay, I've been married twice. You don't come out of that without some scars. Both of y'all been married before, right?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Twice?
Yeah.
Who said, okay, you don't come out of that with, and Chris, you're in a committed relationship. You've been married before too, Chris?
One time.
Okay, so we've all been married. Okay. You don't come out of that without some type of scars. And for so long, instead of addressing the scars, I would just not jump into another relationship, but eventually I would end up in another one. And of course, if you haven't dealt with certain things, relationships are mirrors. They show us who, so it's not just that person. No, it's showing me if I'm responding a certain way to them, because that's me. It's not just them. So I would keep getting relationships, and the reflection I was seeing was not one that I liked. So now I'm just in the state where it's like I'm single. I'm open to dating, but I know I have work to do. So I'm at the place like, how could I put it? And I'm answering the question. I haven't forgot my own question.
That's all. You gonna answer the question?
I'm not talking crazy about me going down the rabbit hole. Up into certain better levels. Yes, I can be toxic at times, but I'm doing the work.
I think you answered it.
Now, okay, and let me explain toxic. Because I don't want it to sound like I'm just like you said, when you haven't addressed certain things, you can get into a relationship, and when anything reminds you of that pain, you can kind of, even if just mentally, revert back to that time. Even if you don't get it out, mentally, you can revert back to that. So I'm trying to find a good therapist, because I've never done it like really before. I started therapy like last year, but she was trash. She was no good. So I was like, it's there. Because by the time I would talk to the lady again, I'm like, well, hell, I done figured it out now. I'm okay. So I am in the process of looking for, I'm up here telling y'all all of my business, but it's all good. I'm looking for a better therapist because men and women, but men, we need therapy. We need to know how to open up and talk and let you all, we want certain parts of you all, but we have to be able to give you all certain parts of us as well. We can't get the whole cake without, we got to give something up too. So that's the process I'm in. So can I be toxic? Am I toxic? I'd say not as a standard or everyday type of thing, but can I be? If I make the wrong choices and connect with the wrong people, yes, I can. It'll bring the toxicity out of me. So my goal now is to recognize that and make sure I'm not, okay, and I'm gonna give a quick example along with that. I found myself constantly dating my ex-wife again.
I get it. Yeah.
And it wasn't until like the last couple of years that I saw it with one young lady. I said, this is why I like her. She reminds me of that. And that's no good for me. So now I recognize it. So when I start seeing little things in a woman, even if it starts attracting me, I say, why is that attracting me to her? And I'm able to kind of see it better now. I don't fully know all of it. That's why I still need to do the counseling. But I'm able to notice it quicker now than before when I would just jump head over heels into it.
Yeah.
So that's I'm taking time off to do the work. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful answers. What you smiling for, Chris? What's up, man? You want to say something? Okay.
You tiptoe around that question.
No, he didn't. He answered it.
He answered it.
I was giving context.
No, and I love the way that you actually, I don't think you were like giving your business away. I think that, someone will be able to look at that and say, well, if he can go to counseling, I can too. You have empowered people.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I hope. That's one of the main things for the platform, that we can be enough that somebody can say, well, if she can do it, he can do it. Oh yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
And Stephanie, you didn't get a chance to answer the question.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Thank you, Marcia. So it depends on what toxic means. I think that and how I want to address it as toxic being dangerous. And I have a higher self and a lower self. And I think that certain days I'm in my higher self and certain days I'm in my lower self. And I love people like Marcia, who, I know when I talk to her, I know to come only with my higher self, and it's good. Yeah, she always is, has good energy. And the thing is, it's like, I could easily be an enabler. And that could be toxic to someone who is abusing something, because sometimes I tend to like, okay, well, let me give you this and let me give you that. So I could enable people, and that could be toxic. And I've learned that about myself. Okay, let them learn it. Don't do it for them. Empower them to do it. Because sometimes I'm just like, oh, it'd be quicker for me just to do it, so I've learned that about myself. But I do believe, yes, I can be toxic at times. And I have to always take a glimpse at myself, look circumspectly and say, okay, how are you today? Or how are you in that moment? And, I love owning myself because I get better. I'm like, okay, well, this is, and I've told someone, I say, I do many things well. So because I do many things well, I'm not challenged or embarrassed about the things I don't do well or the things that I need to do better because, it is what it is. And so I need people around me who are just as honest with me as I am with them. And people are like, I don't know, you too honest. I'm like, well, this is who I am as a friend. I said, and if you don't want that type of friendship, I'm not going to change who I am. I may change. Say what?
Keep it 100.
Yeah. I may change my approach. I said, but I'm not going to change the richness, the honesty, because I need true friends and I need for them to be honest. I don't want to. We used to say in college, who's our housemate or who's our suite mate? Why did they let her come out like that? I need to find out from the internal people, the people in my inner circle. I don't want someone else to tell me who might not love me as much as my inner circle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what really matters. I try to be the friend to others, and it doesn't always work this way, but I try to be the friend to others that I want to meet, that I want them to be to me. As far as being, if I come to you asking for advice, I'm coming because I want the truth. Don't sugarcoat it or don't just agree. If you think I'm wrong, say, nigga, you wrong. Because I can deal with the sting of that, knowing that you're telling me at least in sincerity the truth as far as you know it, as opposed to you just patting my little ego. That don't get that actually contributes to me being toxic. It enables me to be toxic. So yeah, beautiful answers. This is good. Look, I've had y'all up here 2 hours, and I'm not gonna hold you much longer. But I do have enough.
It's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yes.
Like, just right. I was young. Let me see.
It's rolling.
And this give it to me by Chris. It said, "What's beauty? The shape, the face, or the soul?"
Wait, repeat that, please.
What is beauty? What's beauty? What's considered beauty? The shape, the face, or the soul? Marcia.
I said, that's easy.
I already know what you're gonna say.
You do?
Yeah.
Tell me what I'm gonna say.
Soul.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it's a question that some other people might be like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I get it.
Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. With your eyes closed, being around somebody such as yourself, Marcia, or you, Stephanie, if you guys have the gift and the capabilities of, your eyes could be closed and not even see this person, and their eyes could be closed, not to you, but you could probably feel what they're all about already. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, the question,
Mm-hmm.
I think the question is just something to make people actually think, to remind yourself about that.
So we need to go into why, so people can have more insight as to why we chose soul.
Well,
no.
Yeah. So more or less the reason the soul part about it all is because the beauty of the flesh, the shape, those shapes and the faces, that stuff ain't gonna last, but the inner part that you connect with the person is, is forever, everlasting, so that soul connection, when you're connected, is a bond that's so strong. It's just crazy. So I'm gonna, if you don't mind me, Stephanie, telling about a quick little story. I told Ed about it. So this is about being connected to people, mm-hmm. and their energies and their soul. So a friend of mine, a guy that I'm in a Facebook group, he he posted about committing suicide, right? So I think that morning, around that time, and then I think Stephanie had sent me a long message, and I'm like, I said, what's she talking about? So next thing you know, I started to think, I said, well, I'm fine. And then I started to think, I said, you know what? I said, this guy is weighing heavy on my chest because this guy is thinking about committing suicide, and so being able to connect with people, it's something that's that spirit, that's that soul, that's that whole energy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like with Marcia and Stephanie. I introduced Stephanie to Marcia. Then they just clicked just like that. Boom. But that's that even with men and women and women, that's that soul spirit energy that connects with it. Now, when the last time you looked at me, Ed, and said, hey, you're a fine brother. Well, but now check this out. But do you got love for me though, right?
Absolutely, bro. Like a brother. Yes. Sir.
And you see the connection that we have, right?
Absolutely.
It's just I'm just trying to prove a point, is that it's not about the looks, it's about that connection that you create. You know what I'm saying? So
and want everyone to know. He said, yeah, like a brother. I called that, Ed.
Oh, so what you saying, bro? What you saying?
It's like, let me put this out there.
See, this is where my toxic side come out now. But no, but yeah, that's something that I thought about that would be good just to put out there to others, because other people don't understand that the soul ties that you get in relationships, things like that.
It's crazy you just said that. I have to shoot later. I have to shoot a podcast later, and that's exactly our soul ties. But keep going.
Yeah.
That's
so those soul ties, and a lot, like you said, those guys that that start off and they date and do a lot of stuff with a whole bunch of different women, they don't really realize when they actually meet that one woman, he's dropping a lot of people, a lot of things into that woman that could potentially damage that woman's soul and her spirit. So, but that's all. That's all that's all I had to say.
Marcia, why did you say the soul?
So, the soul is, your heart and your spirit. And I think, that's where your beauty really lies. Your body is just a vessel that carries your heart and your spirit. I mean, we don't choose this, this vessel. And, and so this is just like Chris said, this is not going to last. And you can manipulate all of this, if you have enough money. You really can. We've seen examples, Lil' Kim, Janet Jackson, we can manipulate all of it. And
little drummer boy. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So, this is just, it's a shell. And so you can look gorgeous physically and then have the most unattractive heart and spirit, and you couldn't be around that person. You wouldn't want to be around that person. So there's no beauty there because this is just a shell. It's almost like having a beautiful brand new refrigerator and having nothing but rotten food inside. What's the point, right, of having that? And so I wouldn't want that. And I don't think anybody else would want that either. So I am all about connecting with somebody on a spiritual and an emotional and an intellectual level. I need somebody who I can connect with emotionally. And just like Chris said, when I met Stephanie, it was an instant. And when I tell you that I can meet somebody and I can tell almost instantly if we are going to be friends, if we're going to, I can tell there's like this connection. I can tell if I can just tell. there's just this, this emotional thing. I wanted to segue too. I mean, when we start talking about physical,
Hmm.
In America, well, probably just across the world anyway, we're so obsessed with the physical. Like, we're just so obsessed with the physical. And I get it. Like, guys, when they're picking their mates, like the first thing that they see is, this, right? I get it. But at the end of the day, you still have to like connect with this, right? You still have to connect with this. Like, I mean, I hope that a woman's soul and what's going on in her head and all that has like kind of like an equal, I don't know. I want to ask that question later, but we are so obsessed with this physical, right? And I want to talk about Black women for just a second.
Go ahead, take your time.
Because you hit on something earlier about how the media with these reality shows, how they want to program us to hate each other, how they want to program us to fight each other. And if they can control our minds enough, knowing that we are the future of the world, that it's just going to stunt that, right? One of our problems, we do have a problem with each other on a large scale that I think we're working on. I think we're doing a whole lot better with, but we still have a whole lot of work to do. And so, like, when I walk through the mall, one of the things that I intentionally do is if I see a sister, I am trying to intentionally get her attention by looking her in her eye. But you will notice, I don't know, Stephanie, you tell me if I'm wrong, that many of us will not look each other in the eye.
Mm-mm.
We
That's
will
true.
not make eye contact,
Mm-mm.
right? Facts,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
But I will do everything that I can to try to make eye contact, because my goal is to find something to compliment her on, right? I think it's very important for us to empower each other, right? And find something to compliment each other on so that we can start like loving on each other and just building each other up. And it's not just about the looks. Do you get what I'm saying? So we got to find something. It's like, sis, those earrings, baby, you wearing them earrings. Sis, that outfit is bad. Sis, them shoes, sis, your hair, sis, something, right? Like, we have to empower each other, but we're so obsessed right now. And reality TV has something to do with it. Our trauma has something to do with it. This idea of scarcity of Black men, in the country has something to do with it, and competition has something to do with it. There's so many different factors that has something to do with it. So I just wanted to segue there because it just caught my attention when you were talking about looks. And I was just thinking about that. But for me, yeah, it's a soul thing. Like, I really need to connect with you on a soul level. It doesn't hurt if you find, but
It's crazy.
hey, look, as you can tell, look, I need somebody that can keep me laughing because I'm all about having a good time. But yeah, no, that's my thing.
Go ahead, Stephanie. You threw that in right at the end. It doesn't hurt if you find. Okay. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay. Let's see. So
Hold on.
the soul. I choose the soul, and the reason being is because you can reach levels in a person with their soul that you can't reach physically.
Right.
And you can actually see that when you actually have been intimate with people that you don't love, and intimacy starts before physical contact. And also, even with myself, I could see in fitness where if my spirit is not on board
nothing else is right. It takes my spirit to be at peace in one place for me to do well with my fitness goals.
Okay.
And you know, just with that, I have to, it's just like Chris was saying, God won't leave me alone if it's something that he's told me to do and I'm supposed to do. I believe it has to be timely. So that's the spirit part. Yeah, I could be on the just like when Marcia, I met Marcia on the phone, but I knew instantly, you know, because hearing her voice, and it's just, and that wasn't physical. It was something that the spirit told me about her. And
Okay.
so and it's something that the spirit told me about Chris too, because I'm picking out, I need a handyman. I'm like, okay, I need someone who I trust inside my parents' home when I'm not there. And so I was like, you know, that's something I asked God about. And I believe that he sends me and he answers all of my prayers. So because I have a relationship and a communication with him, I know that who he sends is who I need. And so it's funny because Chris was he wasn't even in like the area where I was looking. It was no reason why he should have ended up in that search. And it was a spirit that said him. And I was just like, really? I was like, okay, so contacting him, he was immediate. And then from him contacting Marcia, I needed Marcia. And it's funny because I was just like, maybe it wasn't so much about Chris, it might have been about Marcia. So I was just, you know, like, God, you know, it's so funny how the spirit works and how the connections, nothing is I don't believe in, you know, chance. I think that everything is ordained, and we meet people for reasons. And so, and I know that. And one thing that Marcia touched on that is really important is like how she is building other people. That's really important. The reason being is because people don't have always that person in their inner circle that builds them up. So I've learned to, even with my male friends or my female friends, like one female friend I had never had sisters. So it's just like knowing how to love them so they can actually learn how to receive that love as a sister, as a, you know, friend, or showing that love to like a male friend. So he knows what to expect from his mate, his future mate. It's kind of like, okay, if someone doesn't treat you as good as I do or better, then don't even look to them as a mate, because I'm your friend and I treat you like this. So it should be better than that. You know, so that's what we need to start doing, like with each other, like just really loving on, and that's a segue, I'm sorry. And we need to start loving on each other so everyone is understanding of what that love looks like or should look like, because everybody doesn't understand that love should not hurt. Love, it doesn't hurt, you know. It's so just getting that knowledge and that experience and being open, you know, we could reach people where other people can't. You know, we could get them ready. I always feel that, hey, you know, we're preparing everybody or each other for whatever their future holds.
Ooh, you dropping gems. Woo!
See, she's always so encouraging.
Oh my gracious. Yeah. We have to get past the thing where we get into relationships and think we have to be combative with each other until we get to a place of it being good. It's like so many think we're going to struggle together until we, like, no, why we can't just be happy?
Yeah, it don't have to be struggle love. It don't have to be struggle love.
Yeah.
Why we can't just do that from the start? Like, what's all this contention that we feel like we have to have at first to prove to each other this and that? Yeah, I may have to prove my love, but it shouldn't be in any aggressive type of tense manner. Like, what is that? You know? Mm-hmm. And I like to say I agree with you all with the soul being how beauty is defined, but I think it's a combination, because it's a lot of people with pretty soul, beautiful souls that's single, and it ain't necessarily by choice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, so go back to that. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Hold on.
Good?
Chris?
I'm good.
No, well, my point might have been a little funny, but I was saying some people have beautiful souls, but they're single and not necessarily by choice. Because sometimes that gets overlooked because people are looking for just the way the vessel looks and not looking for what the substance is. If you follow what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they ain't happy.
I fell in love with the vessel plenty of times because I wasn't even taught to what to look for.
Sorry about
So
that.
I fell for what I saw because I didn't know what else to look for. You know? Go ahead, Marcia. You got something you about to say?
I was gonna say them pretty women gonna take you through it.
Listen, was it you I was talking to, Chris, or somebody? I said every quote unquote dime I've been with was crazy.
We talked about that.
It was me and you talking about it. I was
Yeah.
like, that was the worst relationships. But it's because, and partly my fault, I fell for the vessel. And because of their trauma, they didn't even know that they had a beautiful soul that could be cultivated. They were just living off, I'm pretty. So I want. I can get any man I want. I can get him to spend this, not realizing eventually your soul has to shine through outside of just, because this vessel going to diminish at some point. Your soul should continue to get stronger though. So I think it's a combination, but yes, absolutely the soul. Like I said, now I know what to look for after 2 marriages, but at least I know what to look for. Go ahead, Stephanie.
So what happens? Which one is more outlasting? Think about it. You know, some people have gotten in accidents and they've been disfigured, and it's only the soul that actually shines through. I always try to think of, okay, then this brother could look this way this day, but remember, you know, right around the corner, it could be some accident. Are you going to love him through that or past that? So I have to always keep that in mind because things happen and that could easily be, but the soul will always be there.
And you know what? I actually had an example of that growing up, but I didn't realize it until I got older. You know, I had my mother and father together, and my mother had lupus. So over time, physically, she began to decline, but my father was right there. And as I got older, I realized, oh, he loved her. Yeah, initially he got with her because of the looks and this, but he loved her, you know, because he stayed the whole until she passed, you know. And to my knowledge, he never stepped out, you know. So it was about what was inside of her, because it was times where she was bedridden and everything, and he was still there with her, you know, not just the physical portion. Go ahead, Stephanie.
And even if he did step out, we gotta, that's a part of me that has changed over time, because even if we think that if there's no love if people step out, they make mistakes. But even if he did at any point step out, that was, you know, of course, between them, but it does not negate his love for your mom.
That's right.
I even accepted it. I was like, look, I can't say I wouldn't have, you know, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
He being a man now, I understand if it came out that he did, I'm like, look, man, I get it. I get it. I'm not saying I agree. I get it though. You know, but you still showed love to my mother the whole time. So
Yeah.
I didn't do anything different. So if I found it out now, it's like he treated her right. So what could I do? You know. Anybody else have anything on that?
No,
Like
I wanted to get back. I wanted to get back to that balance. What's that balance?
You say, what's the balance?
For men.
Now, okay. I only speak from what I've seen and what I've observed. I think we find out a little later. You all do. I think you all connect with it a little sooner. That's how y'all, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but that's how sometimes I can see absolutely beautiful women physically be with a guy that look like he slept in a trash can or look like a trash can, but he treats her right and she stays with this guy. Because over time you realize, oh, he really knows how to treat her. He really respects her, values her. So she looks beyond, you know, just the physical sometimes and sees that he treats her right. Sometimes with us, at least with me, it took me a while not to just go after the big booty. Just being honest, like, woo, I got to have it. Just being for real, that was my kryptonite because I did not know what to really look for. So I had to make several mistakes to realize, oh, you really can't trust a big butt and a smile. She got to have more than that, you know. Know y'all familiar with that.
Baby.
Look past just that, you know. I was in probably my mid to late 30s before that even really started clicking, you know. So it's like I looked at the wrong thing for a long time. Yeah, I would start considering, let me see what, now let me be clear, because there are things that I do consider, like me having kids. How is she with her kids? You know, how does she talk like a woman that always cursing at her kids and this and that? You can't come around my kids. I don't curse at my kids. I don't talk crazy. You know, it's times they heard me say some wild stuff, but I'm never going to talk to them in a way where it makes them feel lower than what they are. But I hear them cussing at the kids and just having all kind of conversations. So I consider that like, no, I can't bring you around my folks. We have a standard, and you got to be more than just pretty to come around that, you know? So it's different things I do consider, but initially it was that physical. She thick, I got to have it, you know? But now I've gotten older and that's not the predominant thing. Yeah, I'm still a man. I'm still attracted to what I'm attracted to. But it's like, knowing now how, and I'm not even, it's easy to get. Nowadays, they giving it away.
Yes,
so I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by you just giving me some. Who are you? What are you? What are your values and things of that nature? Because
just giving it away.
What you say?
You said they just giving it away?
Yeah, they are.
Right, I ain't paying for it. Not like
they just giving it away, Marcia.
It's
women,
men and women. They just giving it away.
Hey,
wow, it's different out there.
This generation is different.
What'd you say, Chris?
This generation.
And they're laughing. I wanted to know what you was down there giggling about. I wanted to hear what your thoughts were while you down there giggling.
Chris?
Giggling about which part?
When Ed was
talking about all of the above.
Talking about the booty.
And that's why he was laughing.
Oh, okay.
Remember that booty? Shut up. Booties and boobies. I mean,
it's boobies is your thing, right?
Yeah, I like the boobs.
You like the boobs, okay?
Earlier, Chris, yeah.
Huh?
We talked about that earlier too.
I like looking at some. I like the boobies and I like saddlebags. You ain't necessarily gotta have a butt like that, but if you got them hips, that'll you know. But you gotta, But see,
rabbit hole.
Y'all, I was being quiet and somebody said, "What?"
I know, Marcia.
That's my bad.
You pushed him down that rabbit hole.
My bad.
You knew Chris. You know what Chris was laughing at.
I was just like giving it away easily, and then I saw Chris down there giggling, and I'm just like, okay.
I knew what he was giggling about.
Goodness, Lord.
I like big butts, and I can't not lie.
Rabbit hole.
Oh, another question that you did. Okay, in a relationship, what's more valuable, sex or money?
Sex.
Okay, all right.
Sex.
Oh, we all agree here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I was about to offer something else, but I agree. Because I know plenty of people with money that cheat. So sex matters. Look, y'all, I done had y'all up here a long time. And I really enjoyed it, but I don't want to keep y'all too long. I got a question though. Would you be willing to do it again at some point?
Oh yeah. This was
okay.
But do this again? Oh yeah. I was like, do what again? What? I was like, can you specify?
Don't get Chris started.
I know, right? Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Please. Yeah.
was like,
Oh, man.
clarify.
Look, I'm
Chris.
good. I'm good.
Chris, though, he actually brought this together. He was on last week, and I had another young lady, and it was supposed to be another lady. She couldn't make it. Cool. Anyway, everything kind of just fell apart as far as that. Fine. Chris came through in the clutch for me, so I really appreciate that. And we can't answer all of these questions today because I still have more questions, but there's no need to try to cram everything into one day because I want to allow us time to actually discuss things when, I don't want to just rush through 1 minute per person. No, we might get stuck on something and it takes time to discuss it and hash it out and see what everybody's perspectives are. Even if we end up disagreeing, my goal is for us to have some understanding. At least I know where you're coming from. I know how to approach it because it's not just a gray area. I think we leave too many gray areas with each other instead of just making it plain. Setting a standard, making it plain, and sticking to that, and let it be known. Don't just let a person have to wonder where you stand. Tell them. And either they're with that or they're not, and that's okay.
It is.
It's totally okay. But be willing to just be honest about where you are with it. And that's either in a position to need to grow. Like I say myself, I'm in a place of doing the work, but I'm going to be honest about that going forward, until I get to a place where it's like, okay, I'm ready to really full blown pursue somebody. I'm going to let them know, like, look, I got things I'm working on right now. So there's no need for me to not say waste your time, but I'm going to make you aware of what's going on. If you continue to want to be around in that process, I'm going to let you know what's going on.
I love that.
You didn't tell me. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I'll text it to you too, so just to make sure we got a document of it. Tell you, but then I'll send you a text message so we have the date and everything. But look, I really want to thank you all. Y'all didn't have to take all of this time out of your beautiful, it's rainy up here, Sunday, and sit on here with a stranger. But now we know each other, so now we're acquainted. Any last words before we get off for here? Plus, I do have another podcast to shoot this evening, so if it wasn't for that, we probably could talk a few more minutes, but I got to get ready for that. Any last words from anybody? Stephanie, you got anything?
Yes, you said it was raining. It's still beautiful. Whatever God brings is always beautiful. And I just wanted to really thank everyone on the call because, it just having this call gives me a better insight that men are willing to have a conversation. So that's hopeful, because sometimes you think that you're the only one communicating. So it's really hopeful that you guys want to communicate and that you actually initiated the communication. So that's awesome. Of course, I love you all. So thank you.
Love you too. Yes, ma'am. What you got? Well, no, Chris, any last words? I'm going to let Miss Marcia close it out.
Okay, go. Appreciate you guys both for being a part of this and off the strength of me trusting that this was going to be a good process for everybody that's in here, because Ed had to trust me to bring you guys apart and you guys had to trust me to make sure that he was going to make sure it was going to be something that you guys actually felt comfortable being a part of. So I appreciate you guys trusting in me to allow this to take place. To trust. I appreciate you guys for sharing your wisdom, your experience of life, and I hope we get to do it again.
Beautiful. Marcia, what you got?
Hey, just thank you so much for actually hosting this platform. This has been awesome. We need to have more open conversations like this. And I'm looking forward to the next time we do it. Looking forward to more excellent questions, looking forward to more insights, looking forward to more gems from Miss Stephanie, honey.
He's dropping heat.
He was dropping heat. Don't come if you ain't ready for the heat.
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying.
I love y'all. Y'all are really, because it can't be a vulnerable place, but I really felt comfortable, safe, and purposeful. I think we all want to add something, and you guys have added so much to me, and I just really appreciate you all.
Thank you. Once again, thank you all. And that's something I say all the time, add value. No matter what you do, add value. Don't just go take it. If you want help from someone, add value to them so that it's at least some type of exchange there, not necessarily monetarily. But for instance, if I see a business person that I aspire to be like or get some information from, I need to find out how can I help them? What do they need? Even if it's just helping them answer emails or something, add value, and that's what I want to do with this platform, add value. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up. Someone who I consider my mentor, she didn't mean any harm with the idea that she gave me, but I had told her about some of the people that had asked me about coming on my platform. And I was like, why do they even think I would have them up there with the way that they talk and conduct themselves like a messy person? This is not a ratchet platform. I'm not here for that. Yes, I laugh and joke on other platforms, but I'm still not a ratchety type of person. And she was like, but if you posted one of them videos, you would go viral and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, but I wouldn't be proud of it. See, I got to live with what goes on this channel, on my, on my pages and on my platforms. I got to live with that. So yeah, I would be viral and be monetized and all of this, but I wouldn't sleep good at night because I know that's not me. So I'm thankful for organic connections, organic conversations that I hope we can get together again and do this more. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Chris, for helping connect the dots. And to those that will be watching this video on YouTube, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, that subscribe button. Share the video, comment, chime in, give us some feedback. It might add to further conversations. Once again, thank you all for watching. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you next time. Stop the video. Thank y'all so much. I'm left. Where I'm at? Everybody go.
We still here.
Oh.
Yeah, he the only one gone.
He's still recording.
I don't see his face, but I see King Crawley.
I see recording.
But it's flashing.
Oh. Yeah, but thank y'all.
The outtake.
The bloopers.
What you say?
A blooper. The bloopers.
The outtake.
When the microphone come down here like this.
Look crazy.
I was really looking forward to it, and I'm not disappointed, not one bit. I really appreciate y'all coming onto a platform. Y'all don't know me at all, but thank you for trusting Chris's referral. And thank you, Chris. You brought on 2 100% solid women.
I'm gonna have to hear about it later, so don't think.
Especially that rabbit hole, I tell you.
I'm gonna hear about it later. So
But look,
y'all crazy.
What time? I gotta film with somebody else in just a little while.
I'm leaving, bro.
That's right. You got what's the name? Cooking out and all of that.
Yeah, I gotta cook out.
Yeah. Look, I plan to have this up. If y'all not, I would appreciate y'all subscribing to my YouTube channel, King
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I have this up. I plan to have it up by in the morning, if not later tonight. It'll be up by in the morning. It'll be on my channel. And yeah, if you choose to share it or just tell somebody about it, even if you don't watch it yourself, the information will be there. And I appreciate
having us. This is fun.
Thank you. Yes, it was. And great questions. Awesome questions.
Thank you. And if you all have ideas or suggestions for further times when we get together, look, I'm here to be a part of the conversation, but I'm here to help moderate it and, direct the flow of the traffic too. So if you all have something that pops up and, if it fits, we'll get it in there because these conversations are necessary. Like we should have more. I want us to talk to each other and not at each other.
Absolutely.
We've done that long enough. So.
Oh, yes.
This was so good.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
but if y'all don't mind, we'll communicate through the text thread and figure out when to be good to do it again.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So thank y'all again. I'm agreeing to roll. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay, y'all be safe.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Enjoy your holiday.
You too. Y'all too.